My News 26 and CCTV. It's high school basketball. Coming to you tonight from Cadillac High School.
And welcome back to the gym at Cadillac High School. Jay Simon alongside Kevin Gregory as the crowd filtering out and making some room for a new crowd as the Cadillac Vikings fall to the McBain Ramblers 61-50 in boys basketball non-conference action. And tonight we've got a special doubleheader, as that was the JV game, if you will, making way for the varsity, which will feature the Cadillac Vikings girls basketball team as they play host to the Manton Rangers, which, after you listen to this, watch this post-game show, you can probably watch right after us, I'm assuming. We'll get corrected on that via text if I'm wrong. Meanwhile, we've got a boys basketball contest to wrap up for you. As mentioned, 61-50, the final. But Kevin, that was a much better second half by the Vikings. They trailed by 17 at the half, cut it to 7 going into the fourth quarter. They had it down to as little as 5. Couldn't quite get over the hump. Give the McBain Ramblers credit for closing out, but this was the Logan Ealing show for the Ramblers as he goes 6 for 6 from the line in the fourth quarter to really ice it. Had 12 in the second half, 25 points to lead all scorers in this one, and he did it on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, he did a little bit of everything tonight. I mean, you saw a whole lot of Logan Ealing's game. He's hitting outside shots. He's taking it strong to the rack. He's dumping it off in the middle when he's getting trapped on his drives. Defensively, he's all over the place. He's in every passing lane. He's on the ball defender, finishing at the rim with the fingertip dunk, doing a little bit of everything as you would expect your senior to do. And as we alluded to earlier, made the play of the game. 7-point game. Cadillac coming on strong. Goes up above the rim, pins it against the backboard, I believe. Corrals it, goes coast to coast, finishes on the other end. And that's just, I mean, it's a senior play. He's coming into his own this year, a lot more aggressive than I remember him being last year. And I didn't see too many, but I saw a couple, 2 or 3 games last year, and just really like the way his game's come along.
Ealing, of course, a senior, the quarterback for the McBain Ramblers, and confidence is not something I would ever say that Logan Ealing is lacking, and it really is, as you mentioned, showing it this year. No doubt Ealing, Craig Sturck, they want to get back to the Breslin Center. They got there last year, went 20-0, ended up losing in the Class C state semis, and no doubt, of course, first and foremost, when you're coached by Bruce Copeman, it's all about the Highland Conference title. Copeman would go 14-7 every year, win the Highland, and make a deep run in the playoffs. He doesn't care. Non-conference is for getting ready for everything else, but this is a big, big win with a strong defensive team in the Cadillac Vikings. Meanwhile, the Vikings, led by Cooper Benson, who finishes with 15 points, and Keegan Brooks had 13, and those two, both sophomores last year on the varsity, now as juniors being looked to lead this team that's a young team. They've got 4 or 5 seniors, but none of those seniors saw significant time last year. This is a junior-led team, as well as freshman Tip Baker, and really did a pretty nice job. They played good defense, but I think it was just a matter maybe of just a little too much offensive firepower. Just couldn't get the shots to fall when they really needed them to fall. A lot of that, obviously, the Rambler defense, but you also mentioned, I don't know if this was off the air or on the air, a little bit of the holiday hangover, if you will, right? I mean, they had a lot of time off, first day back to school. How much of it do you attribute to that from the offensive standpoint?
Yeah, I think a little bit. I think it's a different style Cadillac basketball that we've seen the last 2 years when Quinn Crago was here. We're seeing a lot more transition. We're seeing a lot more kind of a freelance offense, so to speak. A lot of 4 out, 1 in last year, looking to dump it down low to Quinn. Don't have a ton of size this year. Have some viable players down there, but not really your go-to that's going to get you a bucket with his back to the basket. So they're doing a lot more transition stuff. And as soon as they find some continuity from the outside, can find a guy or two to consistently knock down three-pointers or some 15, 18-foot jump shots to spread that defense a little bit, they're going to find that path to the basket a lot more wide open.
Run down the scoring for you again. As mentioned, Logan Ealing leads all scorers with 25. Seeger Wiltzer had 12 for the Ramblers. Craig Sturck finishes with 8. Jarrett Copeman with 7. Nick Rodenbaugh with 6 before fouling out. Garrett Verbergmos with 3. The Ramblers go 13 of 24 from the line. That's a stat that Coach Copeman will not be terribly happy with and will probably address in practice. We mentioned Cooper Benson finishes with 15, Keegan Brooks with 13, Tip Baker with 9, Clayton McCarthy with 6, Vinny Genema with 4, and Gavin Daniels with 2 is on the screen. We're getting a shot of head coach Ryan Hiller and his assistant coach Kip Damgard there on the screen. The boys varsity here to support the Manton Rangers, which is our game that's coming up next. Vikings finished 6 of 9 from the free throw line. That's going to do it for us for this one. 61-50 your final. The McBain Ramblers with the non-conference win. Our thanks to Cadillac Tire, High Point Cadillac GMC, and Pizza Plus for their support of these broadcasts. Of course, we've got to thank the hardest working crew in television, Kaylee Buck, Rain Johnson-Hill, and Hunter Pollington on the cameras, Jacob Fulis on graphics, and Commander Dakota Pike running the show for us in the truck. Great job by each and every one of those young people, making these old guys look good doing the announcing here. That'll do it. 26 Sports and CCTV's presentation of boys basketball. For Kevin Gregory, I'm Jay Simon. Thanks a lot, folks. We'll see you next time.